Hi, this is Celeste. I'm a nationally certified interventionist, family coach, and recovery coach, and I'm here to talk about a big issue that I see with a lot of people, and that's procrastination. So today I want to talk about some of the signs that you might be sabotaging your goals with procrastination. So one of the first things is having unclear goals. So not having goals that are well defined, or not really having a solid end result. So that's one thing that people will procrastinate about, because if their end result isn't really clear, their end goal isn't clear, they won't know what steps to take going forward. So that's one of the things that I see a lot with people. So in my family coaching programs and recovery coaching program, we start by setting some really clear goals right at the very beginning to help avoid the issue of procrastination about not having clear goals. Another common issue that leads to procrastination is feeling overwhelmed. So sometimes that end result or that end goal that we're working towards can feel so overwhelming that we tend to procrastinate. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and you're not working towards your goals, that can be a sign that you're procrastinating. And we work a lot on that too when we're setting those bigger goals. I like to work with people on breaking it down into smaller, more manageable chunks so that it doesn't feel quite so overwhelming. It feels more manageable, and there's clear direction going forward. Difficulty concentrating. So a lot of times that the unclear goals, feeling overwhelmed can really create that loss of concentration, because you don't know exactly where you're going. You feel so overwhelmed by a bigger goal that you don't know, you feel like you're scattered and distracted and not able to concentrate. Negative belief patterns and negative thoughts about self are another big sign that you're setting yourself up to procrastinate. So a lot of times these negative thought patterns come up as harsh self-judgments, or even putting judgments into other people's heads. And I call that mind reading. So a lot of times we if we get called into the boss's office on Friday afternoon, we automatically assume we're in trouble and we're getting fired. Or if we go to a party and we're maybe a little shy, we think everybody's going to be judging us, they're going to judge the dress we're wearing. So we tend to project those thoughts onto other people. So that can be a very negative belief pattern as well, and it's very unhelpful. That's another thing that we work on a lot with in the family coaching program. Experiencing personal problems. So if you're procrastinating about doing stuff, that can lead to even conflicts with other people. Even if it's a work project, that might create conflicts with coworkers. Procrastinating about doing stuff at home can lead to conflicts with your spouse or somebody that you live with. So that can be a very big thing as well. That feeling of being bored, because a lot of times when we're stuck in our comfort zone, or we're not working towards a specific goal, we tend to feel that sense of complacency or that sense of boredom. So that can be a definite sign that you're procrastinating. While setting goals is good, if we're setting unrealistic goals, that can lead to procrastination as well. And that goes back to a similar type thought process with setting the bigger goals. So it seems so overwhelming to try to accomplish that unrealistic goal that we don't even start. So that can be a cause of procrastination too, and a sign that you're procrastinating. Being afraid of failure, that can be a sign that you're procrastinating as well, because if you're afraid of failing going into attempting a goal or something that you want to do, you're more likely to procrastinate. And a lot of times if you're making excuses about not working towards your goal, that's a good sign that you're procrastinating. So if you have this great big and grandiose goal of going back to school, getting sober, whatever it happens to be, if you're making excuses like, oh, I'm too busy, I'm too tired at the end of the workday, I don't think I can do it, whatever, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the resources. Making those kinds of excuses can be a sign that you're procrastinating, because at the end of the day, we don't want to say, well, I just don't want to do that. I want to put it off because I'm afraid of failure. It sounds better if you say, I just don't have the time. So, and these are all things that we work really hard on in the family coaching programs and the recovery coaching programs. And a lot of these come down to thought processes. I know I've talked about this before, but we spend a lot of time in the beginning. We'll set some goals, we'll set some realistic goals and break those down, like I said earlier, to make them more manageable. And then we go into really examining those underlying unhelpful thought patterns, like I was talking about before, about being our own worst critic, mind reading, projecting those judgments on other people, and really getting to the root of those, and understanding, why are those thoughts coming up? How are they leading to negative emotions and changing my behaviors, right? So procrastination is the behavior. So we really want to look at those thoughts so we can start to overwrite some of those unhelpful thought patterns into more constructive thought patterns. I can do this, I'm smart, I've got the time, I've got the energy, I've got the resources, because that will start to change your emotions. That will start to get you pumped up and motivated and feeling good about yourself, like you can do this, you can accomplish this. And then that'll start to change the behaviors, and it'll give you that energy to work towards your goals. It will start to end that procrastination. So that's a big thing that we work on in both the family coaching programs and the recovery coaching programs. We talk a lot about breaking cycles of codependency in the programs, setting boundaries, improving effective communication. That's a big thing that we work on in both programs, and also improving relationships, because a lot of times in addiction, there's a lot of broken relationships, a lot of broken communication, a lot of broken promises, which damage those relationships. So we really work on rebuilding those relationships, and that's really going to come from changing those thought patterns and behaviors, setting boundaries, breaking the cycle of codependency, and improving communication. So if you're interested in applying for either of these programs, I'm going to put the information in the caption, so you can go back and look at that. You can apply for one of the programs. Then we'll get on the phone and we'll talk about creating an individualized program for you. And the core of the program will be the same. So working on changing the thought patterns, setting boundaries and communication, building relationships. But we will very much tailor those skills to you, your specific situation and what you're going through, and your own situation. So we'll start to build out your program, set some goals, and then we'll delve right into your program. We'll get you moving forward with some of your goals. So you're going to want to go there today, because you're not going to want to procrastinate. Let's start changing that behavior now. Let's stop procrastinating. Let's apply for the programs, and then we'll get on the phone and start your program. I look forward to talking to you. Thank you for tuning in.